So, if you can't tell, this is a Gamefisher Outboard engine. It's a 7.5 horse, so you got a shot of the cover right there. And I made a video of this before, but I used my phone right now for a camera, and I had it held the wrong way. It was vertical, so that didn't turn out. But this engine had a lot of running issues. I focused on the carburetor a lot first, and replaced the needle and seat and the bowl gasket, and you can see this little manifold here where the fuel is supposed to come in has had a lot of issues. The inlets have fallen. This one fell out. I soldered them all back in, but the one fell out, and this one stayed pretty good. So it's for auxiliary tank, or the onboard tank. There's two different ones for that. So I'm just going to run off one for now until I can find something else. Can't get the carburetor for it, so might have some trouble there. But I got it to run decent, but it would only run for maybe 15 seconds, and then after I got it to do that a few times, it would never actually run again. I just kept pulling it. So another issue was the way this works. This sits on top of the engine here. You can see the shaft comes through. There's a roller bearing in there, and this is the coil and the magneto, and the flywheel sits over top of this. So instead of having this externally where you can adjust it, you can't. This is set, and when you turn the throttle, which is connected to here, this advances or retards the ignition based on the throttle input. So I was having mine hit. I actually got a few pictures if I can remember. I might put them in. The coil was hitting the magnets here on the flywheel, and there's no adjustment, so I couldn't figure it out. So I actually brought this 11 horsepower up, and I was going to try to fit it to the lower end, but it's got a very small 6-spline shaft that I can't find anything to adapt to it. So I figure I would go through and just tear this motor down and try. I know parts are hard to get, so it really wasn't going to have much luck, but when I started taking it apart, I found that all the head bolts were loose, and I forget what else it was. Some other bolts were already loose on this. It was my grandfather's motor, so I guess he might have tried playing with it once before. And what I found was, the reason, because this is mounted on the shaft, this isn't. This is solid, so this moves, this doesn't. And the reason this was hitting that was because the main bearing, which sits on the inside of the case, down in here, here's what I pulled out. You can see all the balls there and the two bearings. And I thought this originally was a complete ball bearing, but it's not. The new one, which I was able to get, looks like this. And you can see how it has those spacers in there. So I tried that, and it fits in there. This is the right one. I don't know if I have the part number on hand. Right there. If it'll focus in. Let's see. There we go. 530110. And as far as I know, it's going to be the right one. You can still get that for this motor. So the other thing is the seal, the lower end seal, which will go out eventually if it's you know, in the rebuild process or not. You can't get that anywhere from Sears or Tecumseh or anything, because that's what this is, a Tecumseh motor. So I found one. The right part number that they don't make anymore is like ends in 18, and I found a part that same exact number except it ended in 19, which is this seal here. And I'm just gonna hold it up real quick, and it doesn't fit. It's kind of close with this bag on there, but otherwise it doesn't fit. So the one ending in 19, I think my local small engine place carries it, and they do make it, but that's not the right one. It's way too small. So I was doing some research, and there's a guy on the forums. If you look it up, you'll find it. You can find the right seal in a few places, and the correct size is in millimeters, 17 by 27 by 7. So let me get out of the package here. This is what the right one looks like. You can see that, and you can see that it will easily press right in. So I got the right seal. The only difference is, I don't really know how to describe it, but you can see this one is metal cased, while this one isn't. It's all solid rubber, but it should hold. So I got the right pieces, and I just figured I'd make a quick video here of what it looks like before it's going to go all the way back together, because this is completely broken down. I mean, other than these two plates on the sides, but That's it, really. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back together, and hopefully I can get it together tonight. Maybe fab up a gasket or something for the head gasket, because that one tore. And this roller in here lost a few bearings or needles. I was able to find those. And it's kind of goofy, because where's the piston at here? Here we go. The rod has a conventional rod type bearing right here, where it slides on, but also around the shaft are all these needle bearings. It's kind of odd. You can get that though. That's $20. So I didn't. I don't think it needs it. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this piston up on the top, and then after that, clean the end of this crank up. It's not scored up too bad or nothing, so it should work. Everything looks good in the journal there. So I'm going to go ahead and put it together, and hopefully it runs. So here we go.